Well, I have quite a few projects going on, and I'd like to introduce you to this one. I'm here on the side of the house. There's no more room in my workshop anymore. But you can see this one, I'm just getting started with it. Just started tearing them down, trying to decide how I'm going to do this. But let me give you a little background on this. So I ran across this lawn tractor. A guy just had it on his property. He's just, man, just get it out of here. He wants it gone, you know. And it's a Yard Machines 20.5 horsepower LT Estate Edition, I believe. And first looking at it, I mean, it was just, you know, covered in, you know, dirt, leaves, a bunch of acorns and whatnot after years and years of sitting out there. But after I hosed it down, initially it's like, well, okay, it doesn't look that bad, just some surface rust, and of course, looking at it, the first thing you got to think is, well, it's going to need tires, a battery, and who else, you know, who knows what else, you know, after you start digging into it. But then a week or two later, by chance, I ran across another one, and this was this Troy-Bilt that the guy just said, man, just come get it. You know, we got a new one, and we don't want or need this one anymore. You know, I was like, well, sure, okay, I'll take it. And so I was going to dig into it and see what my options were between these two. You know, am I going to do an engine swap, or am I just going to, you know, part one of them out, or what's going on? You know, I just need to dig into it and see what my options are. So with this one, I've already taken off the hood and the skins over there, you see. Take a good look at it, and decided to clean it up. And I already started with the carburetor, which I can cover in a different video. But it wasn't in bad shape, cleaned up pretty nicely. Replaced the fuel lines, and here on the gas tank too, replaced the fuel line. And the tank is actually in pretty good shape. Just needs a new cap on it. It looks like the gasket underneath the cap was deteriorated. But you see, I took the front wheels off. With this one, I mean, it looks great, right? It's all nice and pretty clean. Until, and this is a 17 horsepower Kohler. That one was was it the Briggs & Stratton 20.5 horsepower twin 2. So it has the twin pistons on them. This one's a single, and I noticed all the oil drainage and oil sitting on top of the pulley there, so I knew there was, you know, knew something was wrong with the motor. Went around looking for cracks, and that is what I found. There's a whole chunk of the engine. So this thing, not only was it a cracked block, it looks like it just blew the rear of that whole block off. So that engine is shot for sure. You know, I could probably part it out or anything like that. Everything else it looked great. So my initial thoughts were to, hey, why don't we take the motor off of this one, just do an engine swap, right? Took the measurements, looks like it would fit. Wouldn't be too hard to squeeze it in there, or, you know, make sure everything's lining up, you know, as far as the drive axle, all, you know, everything seemed to fit in. But the more I dug into it, not only was it the engine, then I started finding out, and this mower deck is doing it too. I read where some guys they're complaining that when you hit a slight bump or anything, the mower deck seems to always go out of line, so it was always tilted. They're constantly having to adjust it. The belts on it constantly breaking. Some guys just about after every 4 hours or so, it's just chewing them up. And a few guys with transmission problems on these, on this particular model. So the more I dug into it, at first I was leaning towards, putting the 20.5 horsepower engine onto this one, onto the Troy-Bilt. But the more I dug into it, now I'm leaning towards just going ahead and finishing this one off. Just, taking the mower deck, giving it a good cleaning. I clean the fuel out. I'm going to change the oil and make sure that this engine is running smooth. Make sure this hydrostatic transmission's working fine. And the more I dig into it, I'm now considering that, well, this one has the better motor, the better transmission, the mower deck and everything seems to be, a little superior than what I have over here. So although this one looks pretty, even though it looks pretty, I think I'm leaning towards the power and mechanical reliability over the looks. So I might strip this one down, take the tires off of it. The tires were exactly the same. So I might just take the tires off of this one, the battery, the seat, any other parts that I could use. I mean, I even measured off the cowling on it, the skins, and it looks like that would fit on that if I wanted, but we'll see. I'll shoot more videos as I progress. A big thing about it's going to be making sure that this one's mechanically sound, and then I'll make the decision. So stay tuned for the next video.